Hello there, it's Mark, and I want to start with an apology because this broadcast is half an hour late. And if you want something to go viral, it's probably not a good idea to start late. However, I do have a good reason. I discovered that when I recorded it on time, my microphone actually wasn't working properly, so the sound wasn't right. So I'm going to touch on that, and that is one way to make a broadcast go viral, is to create something that is actually relatively decent quality. I'm going to touch on that in a second. It all comes back. So I thought, heck, it's going to be worth recording this again for you to get it right and to make sure that the quality is top notch because, hey, you never know. Maybe you might pass it along. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. And I want to talk today about virality. And if I had a nickel for every time a client said to me, we want to create a viral video or we want to create viral communication, oh man, I would be floating on a gold yacht right now. But it's not that easy, and you can't just wish for something to go viral. Now, let me start with a little story, a little anecdote about how to get it right and how to think about creating something viral. It's 1996. Hotmail has just launched as a free email service. The founders of Hotmail are sitting with famous venture capitalist Tim Draper, and they're saying, how are we going to make Hotmail super popular? Remember, it's free. And if your business model is to give it away to people, then you have to give it away to a lot of people so that you can turn around and leverage that membership in order to say, hey, we've got data on all these people so you can market to them. Or, hey, why don't you buy my company and then figure out to do with all these people that are now part of my free email service. So you have to get a lot of users really quick. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we all could get a lot of users really quick, whether we're a free service or not? Anyway, back to the story. The founders are sitting around with Tim Draper, famed venture capitalist, and they say, we should do what Pets.com is doing. Now, if you are scratching your head thinking, what's Pets.com? Oh yeah, that's because Pets.com is no longer with us. Pets.com was a huge .com in the 1990s, and they had just done a massive ad campaign, including a $1.2 million Super Bowl ad, back when $1.2 million was a lot of money. So, then you all know how that story ends because I just told you. They flamed out. All the ad spend in the world could not save Pets.com. Tim Draper said, you know what? Why don't we set ourselves a beautiful constraint? Why don't we say we have to get to a ton of new users and spend $0 to get those users? And they brainstormed and they thought to themselves, an email in and of itself is something that's wonderful for passing along. Obviously, that's what an email is. I send an email to somebody. I pass it along. So there's an element of virality happening already. I'm passing something along to someone. So Tim Draper says, how can we get every person, the passee, the person who has received the email, to become a new user? He said, what if we wrote something at the bottom of each email? What should we write? He said, why don't we write P.S. I love you. I'm giving you a free Hotmail account. Just click here. So that played on the whole idea of letter writing. P.S. I love you is something that you write at the bottom of a letter to somebody you like. And then you could give them a free email account. So that would incentivize the person who is sending the email to say, hey, this is kind of cool. I feel good because I'm giving them something for free. I'm giving them a free email account. And it gets passed along and passed along and passed along. Long story short, this little signature line at the bottom of each free Hotmail email got the company 1 million new users within 6 months. Success. So how is it that you do this? You can't sit around and just brainstorm without discipline. You have to have a framework for your brainstorming. Tim Draper says the goal is to get to a lot of users with 0 ad spend. But that's not all they talked about. They talked about who are the right people? How do we do this? What does the product have to do? So I'm going to give you 4 really easy process steps, disciplines that you can absorb and think about when you want to go and make your product or your communication viral. Step 1. This is going to sound so easy, it's ridiculous. Is your product worth passing along? I know it sounds easy, but how many of you have created products that are okay? If you pass them along, is the person getting the product going to be happy about that? In advertising, we used to have a saying, there is no better way to ruin a bad product than with great advertising, because people will rush out, buy the product, be disappointed by the product, and then they will look to destroy that product with a vengeance because they will feel cheated. If you try to make a bad or subpar product go viral, you are going to have a whole lot of angry people on your hands, and that's something you don't want. So before you think about going viral, start with a small group. Get the glitches out of your product, bring it up to snuff, and when you're proud of it, that's when you start talking about viral. Second step, consider the type of people that you want passing along the good news about your product. We live in an age of influencers, and influencers do some great work. However, there are a lot of not so great influencers. And what an influencer is generally is someone who takes money in order to promote your product. That makes them an advertisement. And because of that, even if they're the most compelling influencer in the world, that delegitimizes them because they are a paid advertising. And so therefore their credibility goes down. Now I want to talk about the right kind of person that you want to get advertising your product or sending out the viral message. I work on eGlass, which is a transparent writing board. Teachers write on it. It flips their image so that the writing appears the right way around. And it's fun because it's colorful. Students love it. Teachers love it. What we've been experiencing lately is that teachers are picking up eGlass and using it to post important messages on their own social media accounts. And we were made aware of one teacher on Instagram who wrote this heart-rending message. She wrote, "I've been a teacher for 15 years. I've been a principal for 10 years. I was an administrator for 7 years, but nothing prepared me for this." This was all written on eGlass. We're all tired. We're all frustrated. We're all angry. Please be patient. Please be kind. Please be generous. Wow. And at the top of it, there was a little line written in felt pen on her eGlass that says, "I love eGlass." Now, remember, we spent $0. In fact, we didn't even know that this was being done. It was one of our social media people who alerted us to it. That is exactly the sort of person you want to have spreading your message, because that is a message from the heart. That is a message that's obviously not being paid for. And that's the sort of message that goes viral. And indeed, it did go viral. Tens of thousands of people shared that message out. Wonderful boon for eGlass. But you know what? It was one of those things that people just take the product and start using it. And if you get the right people doing it, you're going to go viral. Third, so we've talked about making sure your product is worth passing along. 2, we've talked about getting the right people to do it. 3, make it easy to win for the person. So if somebody is going to pass your product along to 10 of their friends, make sure that they get a clear reward. With Hotmail, the reward was they feel good because they feel like they're doing their friends a favor. Who wouldn't want that? That's easy. And they're doing it so easily just by sending an email. It's something they would have done anyway. A lot of companies are doing this right. They are saying, hey, get us some new members, get us 5 new members and your account is free. Or get us 5 new members and your purchase is free. It's a wonderful way to do it. Final step. If you do that, if you say, I'm going to give it away for free, or if you get 5 new accounts, we'll give you your account for free, be prepared. There was a company called DistroKid. DistroKid was a service that helped musicians get their music up on Spotify, YouTube, and other music channels. And what they said was, if you get 5 new friends to use DistroKid, we're going to give you your account for free. Great. In fact, it was so great that a lot of the people who were using the service were inventing fake accounts in order for themselves to get a free account. DistroKid could have gone after them and said, no, we're going to shut you down because you're bad people. What they did instead was they said, you know what? You can pay for your account if you want, but you know what? It looks like you're really using it and you're desperate enough to get it for free that you would even invent and cheat in order to get it. So we're going to give it to you for free. Seems kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? However, the impact was insane. These people who thought, well, they were going to get busted for cheaters and were bad people, suddenly felt, hey, this is a really cool company. And they became brand evangelists, which helped DistroKid grow even more. So there you go. 1, make sure your product's worth passing along. 2, make sure you've got the right people passing it along. 3, make it easy to win. And 4, don't be afraid to get creative because you know what? The future is unwritten and luck favors the brave. So there you go. I hope that was helpful, and I apologize again for this late message. Like I said, I was behind schedule. But hey, if I want things to go viral, I have to make sure that the sound is right, don't I? So I hope that this is worth spreading along to your friends. Have a great day, and make sure to check out Brand DIY if you haven't already. Take care.